Okay, so now we have already discussed expressions, equations, and inequalities. Okay, we've already talked about how to or operations involved for numbers only, and we've started talking about adding and subtracting terms that have numbers and variables. We've also talked about the structure of a term, like and unlike terms, and how they are separated by plus or minus signs and joined by a multiplication, division, and brackets. I've already talked about adding and subtracting like terms. Now let's delve into multiplying, dividing, or products and quotients of terms involving both numbers and variables, because we've already talked about it for just numbers only. So when you're multiplying terms that have numbers and variables, so let's say you have 2x squared times 5xy. How do we do this? We use the following rule: S N V, meaning sign, number, and variable. Whenever you are multiplying or dividing terms that involve both a number and a variable, follow this rule. Or even if it has one of the two. Well, even if it has only a number and a variable, but as long as one of the terms have a variable, follow this rule. You take the signs. See, this has a positive and a negative. Remember, the positive is invisible. Then we say positive times the negative is what? Negative. Then we go to the number. 2 times 5 is 10. X squared times xy is x to the power 3y. Right? Now, obviously, I cannot explain this topic at length because we have not covered all of the exponential rules. Right? But that's why I'm going to give you very, very basic examples so that after I discuss exponents, again, that's why, like I said, I can only explain all of these topics completely at the end of the term or at the end of the month once we've discussed each topic in detail. Right? So I cannot go into with much complicated examples because we haven't explained exponents fully yet. Okay? All right, let's do another example. 2x squared over 10xy. Right, very simple. 2 divided by 10, most people say 5, but it's 1 over 5. Remember that. Right, so both the signs are positive divided by positive is a positive. 2 divided by 10 is 1 over 5. Right? X squared divided by x is x, and y will just remain there, y. So therefore our answer is x over 5y. Very simple. Very, very simple idea. Let's say we have minus 2 over 4zy, and we got 4xy. You have to simplify this. Negative divided by positive is a negative. Again, remember, this negative can be anywhere. It can be at the top, can be at the bottom, or in the front. But I'm just choosing to leave it at the top. 2 divided by 4 is 1 over 2. I don't have to show the 1. It can be invisible. Z divided by nothing. Z divided by 1 is Z. 1 divided by x is x. Is 1 over x. And y divided by y, that'll 2 cancel. Those two terms will cancel because it's a common factor in both the numerator and the denominator, so that enables me to cancel. Okay? So we're left with minus z over 2x. Right, so I just want to inform you, the way I differentiate between my 2 and the z is I put a line over the, I put a line between the z, so you will see that it's a z, right? And not a 2. Okay, so that's how we multiply and divide terms that have numbers and variables. Right, so now we're basically equipped to solve any question that we are given. Right, any question that we are given. Now let's talk about a few basic properties involving expressions and equations. Just like fractions have properties, equations and expressions also have properties that we can use when we are solving it. But again, we're only going to talk about properties involving expressions, right? Not so much equations for now. We will get back to equations. So let's talk about the properties, right?